So tonight, before we continue in the work, I wanted to spend a little time talking a little bit about why we do what we do, why we chose this book. Al-Bukhari, rahimahullah ta'ala, he does something at the beginning of the chapters of his Sahih called the Ta'liq. So he'll give a chapter title. وَيُعَلِّقْ al-bab. He'll mention at the top of the chapter athar, sometimes statements of the companions, sometimes statements of certain scholars. And instead of mentioning them with an isnad, he'll just say, waqal. This person said. This is what we call a ta'liq bil-jizm. Al-Bukhari is saying, I've checked the isnad, you can be certain, right, on my word, that so-and-so said something. Right? He said this statement that I'm going to make. In one of those instances, in Kitaabu Tawhid, the book of knowledge, he mentioned this ta'liq an Ibn Abbas. He said, قال ابن عباس كونوا ربانيين حلماء فقهاء. He said, Ibn Abbas, he said to a group of his students, be wise, prudent academics. Wise, prudent academics. This is the type of students I want you to be as you grow through your knowledge and ultimately become scholars who will teach other people the way I'm teaching you. كونوا ربانيين حلماء فقهاء. فقيل له وما الرباني? It was said to him, and who is the Rabbani? Who is this wise scholar? What qualifies a scholar as being wise? A teacher, somebody's going to teach people something. What qualifies them as being wise? قال الذي يعلم الناس صغار العلم قبل كباره. He said it is the scholar who teaches his students the basic, simple, most important knowledge before teaching them the secondary, more complicated, difficult to understand topics. I'm just going to pause here. Does that make sense as an usloob in teaching somebody something? To teach them bit-tadrij, to teach them what? Step by step. Learn this before you what? Learn this. Don't start here, right? Because if you don't have a foundation, does that make sense?
Yeah.
And that's the way the Prophet was. When the Prophet ﷺ came, he what? He taught people the most important and the most basic things. 12 years, didn't even teach him salat. I'm sorry, 10 years, no salat. 10 years, no halal and haram. 10 years, no siyam. It was just what? A tawhid. And what? Tawhid and basic Islamic manners and morals. That's it. That was it. Al-Muhim, in this book, one of the reasons why we chose this book to teach this very, very important topic, which is the most important topic in our deen, at-Tawhid, is because this is how the Shaykh approaches this knowledge. The Shaykh, if you notice, when we first started, he said, Kitaabu Tawhid. And we said, after that, he mentioned adilla tadullu ala wujub at-Tawhid al-ayan. He mentioned evidence to indicate that Tawhid is something we all have to practice. And it's not something we can opt out of. We all have to observe it. We don't have an option. This is the most important thing. It is wajib, and it's the most important wajib. Then after that, he said what? He said, Babu fadl tawheed wa ma yukaffir min al-dhunub. The virtue of a tawheed and what it expiates of sins. Because what? He doesn't want us to do it just as an obligation. He wants us to do it because what? We want to do it. And he wants to let us know that there's a lot you stand to gain by being a muwahid. So you will be what? Excited to know what it takes to be a muwahid. what it takes to practice Tawhid. You'll be excited to know it because why? You want to get these what? These benefits from Allah. Then after that he comes to Sabab man haqaqa Tawhid. He said the one who what? Is exceptional in his practice of Tawhid. Goes above and beyond. دَخْلَ الْجَنَّةِ بِغَيْرِ حِسَابٍ وَلَا عَذَابٍ. This person will enter paradise without being reckoned or punished. Get a special what? Fadl. We all want to meet God and not be asked anything. And just enter paradise. Just enter paradise without any punishment and without being reckoned. We all want that. How can you get it? He tells us that. Then after that he says what? Bab khawf? Bab al-khawf min shirk. He says the bab indicating you should be afraid of a shirk. Don't just be a muwahid, be afraid of what? The opposite. And what does that mean? Then he starts to tell us what is a shirk. Then after that, bab al-da'wa ila tawheed. I'm sorry, bab al-da'wa ila shahadat la ilaha illallah. Then after that, tafsir at-tawheed. What is tawheed? What does that mean? Look at that. Step by step by step. That's the Rabbani. The Shaykh could have started the kitab talking about what? Ar-riya. Showing off. You know why he didn't do that? Because showing off is what? Secondary in terms of importance. After he gets past al-khawf and al-shirk with tafsir al-tawheed, he's going to start what? Talking about al-shirk al-akbar. Because this is what he's going to start. He starts talking about that. What is this? What are examples of it? Because that's what will destroy your deen. That's what will take you out the fold of Islam. So that's the priority. Ar-riya comes what? Much later. Because ar-riya will not take you out the fold of Islam. It'll undermine some of your deeds, but not all of your deeds. Y'all see that? That's why the Shaykh didn't do that. And it's why we chose this book, and it's why we do what? We move in accordance with the book. We don't move ahead of the book. We don't move ahead of the book. This is what the Shaykh is doing what he's doing. There's a method to his madness. And when you read a book from a scholar, a genuine scholar, it's like you're sitting at his feet. Imagine sitting at a teacher's feet and saying, hey, can we go 3 chapters ahead? I want to ask him, no, we would just do what? We would follow because the teacher what? Is taking us by our hand through the knowledge. ثم بعد ذلك, understand that there is just a general approach to scholarship. And this is important. I'm saying this to you all. Why? Because you will leave this place and you will go someplace else. And you'll see people who will sit where I'm sitting and they will open their mouths. And it's very important for us when people open their mouths to know the difference between an alim, a person who really knows what they're talking about, and a person who you should question whether or not they know what they're talking about. And this is important for us. Why? Because the Prophet said that there'll come a time where the people سَيَتَّخِذُوا عُلَمَاءً جُهَّالًا فَيَسْأَلُونَهُمْ عَنِ الْعِلْمِ فَيُفْتُونَهُمْ بِغَيْرِ عِلْمٍ فَيَضِلُّونَ وَيُضِلُّونَ. Oh, كما قال. He said there'll come a time when people they won't be sure who the people of knowledge are. They'll be confused. And so they'll go and they'll ask people to tell them about their religion who really don't have knowledge. And those people, instead of saying, I don't know, will tell them, give answers to their questions based upon what? Ignorance. And they will go astray themselves and they will guide others astray. So how do you know? How can you tell? What is your yardstick? How can you determine if a person really should be talking about these things? You know, because the person will speak less from themselves and more from what Allah said, His Messenger said, the companion said. You will hear him talk less and what? And direct you toward the knowledge more, which is another reason why we chose this book. Notice, we're in the 3rd chapter now. Every chapter, Yubawwib, he says, gives a title. Then he supports that title with what? I feel, I think, in my opinion, never. Allah said, His Messenger said, this companion said, this scholar said. Very, very seldom does the Imam say anything from himself in this book. And this is the way knowledge is. You know how you know? Because the Prophet said in the hadith of Abi Darda, collected by Ahmed and Ashab al-Sunan illa al-Nasai. He said in that hadith, he said, وَفَضْلُ الْعَالِمِ الْعَابِدِ كَفَضْلِ الْقَمَرِ لَيْلَةِ الْبَدْرِ عَلَى سَائِرِ الْكَوَاكِبِ. He said the superiority of the scholar over the devout worshiper is like the superiority of the full moon over the rest of the celestial bodies. Go out any night when there's a full moon. You don't even see the stars. You have to squint to see the stars. But why did the prophet use this language? If he really wanted to point to something that has a great deal of light and eclipses everything around it, why didn't he say the sun? Ask yourself that question. The prophet is very precise in the language he uses. Why do he use the moon instead of the sun? Because when the sun is out, you can't see anything but the sun. When the moon is out, you do see the stars, but you have to squint to see them. So why the moon instead of the sun? Anybody? Because the moon doesn't have any light of its own. It's borrowing light from who? From the sun, reflecting the light of the sun. That's what the alim does. The alim doesn't rationalize. He doesn't philosophize. I think, I feel. He says what? He directs you toward, he reflects the light of who? Nurillah, the real knowledge. Allah said, his messenger said, the companion said. This is why we read this book. We read the book. Brothers, I spent 7 years studying knowledge. Another 3 years, another 1.5 years doing a master's. I don't need this book. I studied this book in Saudi Arabia multiple times. I've studied it since then multiple times. I don't need the book. I can tell you the abwab of the book. Memorize the book. I don't come and philosophize and tell you what I think. I read from the book and I do what? Ta'liq basit. I do light commentary. Based upon what? Based upon all the studying I've done, plus I do what? Uhadir. I'm in the office and I'm what? I'm going over my notes. I'm researching. I'm rewinding. Don't be confused. I'm talking about the why units. Don't be confused. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. There's like something wrong? There's nothing wrong. I want acting like there's something wrong. I'm just telling you. Okay, Eunice, there's nothing wrong. I just want everybody to understand. The Bible getting this, it's weird. Okay, Jazakallah khair, Eunice. I'm about to stop, and then we don't have to get a Bible at all. I just want to say this. Listen, it's very important for we do what we do for a reason. The other last thing I want to say is this. It's very important in the masajid. I've seen this all across the country. We start something, we don't finish. We start something, we don't finish. We start Riyadh al-Salihin, we don't finish it. We start Al-Arabiyyah Nawawiyya, we don't finish it. We start other works, we don't finish it. Let's finish this. Let's finish it. How are we going to finish it? Every day we're going to what? Read one nas, one text from one of the scholars, what the Imam shared. We comment on it, and we move on. That's how I want our gathering to be. That's how I want our majlis to be. So I just want us to agree on this usloob. I'm sorry, Eunice, if I'm just passionate. Don't misunderstand. Don't misunderstand. It's just I'm missing the point. That's all. Okay. Don't miss the point, because the point was what? The why. Why do we do what we do? I want all of us to be on the same page about the why. And in my case, let me tell you my opinion, my own opinion. Brother Abu Majid can tell you. This, whatever you were doing after after what you're doing now, I love it. Myself. I'm here every day because I wanted to be here to whatever you're doing, the reading of the book, and that's what we're here for. So that's why I'm confused.